Um, Hello, this is my second time recording this. The first time, all my thoughts were really scattered and I didn't really know what to say, and I just felt like I was dragging it unnecessarily long. But I kind of just made this account to talk about feelings that I don't really think I can share with other people, partly because I don't want to keep talking about my issues with these people, and also partly because it's just not that type of not the type of conversation I'd usually have with them. But yeah, since Rec Rap started like making videos talking about his life, which was of course more of a positive tone, but a lot of people started making videos talking about their experiences and their life, and yeah, I just felt like it's just like a throwaway account type of thing. I could do this for my mental peace. And that's essentially why this account exists. But today I wanted to talk about something that's been bothering me for a few weeks now. It's a really weird thing. Like, even saying it out loud, it sounds ridiculous. But I feel like getting a life is simultaneously one of the best and one of the worst things to happen to me because there have been a lot of things that I've held near and oh, I do not want to deal with it. There's a lot of things that I hold near and dear to my heart that I've lost, or not lost, rather, no longer have the time to pursue or indulge in because of real life stuff. Um, Throughout my life, I was not really a very social or extroverted kid. My idea of a good day is just to sit at home and pursue some sort of passion project like editing videos or I was just playing games. But recently, a few months, almost a year ago, I think, I shifted houses and not just houses, I shifted states completely. I've traveled like halfway across the country I live in and came back to my hometown. Uh, so, which is exciting, and I'm really glad to be here. I was brought up here for 12 years before we moved, and it's just objectively one of the best places to live in my country. And it's something I'm very happy about. But a lot of, I guess, my personality developed in the period of time I was living in this other state. That's where I really learned to come out of my shell. That's where I learned to talk to people. That's where I learned to kind of be social for the first time. I made proper friends. I made, I like had a relationship and a bunch of stuff which was things I couldn't even imagine doing like a few years prior. So while I am glad I'm back in the greatest city on earth, that's not New York by the way, just but yeah, while I'm glad to be back, it is bittersweet because that place is probably one of the most important places in my life now. Even though I stayed there for like a third, maybe a fourth of my life. Yeah. And while moving here, I had to enter a long distance relationship with my girlfriend because we didn't really want to end things, and things were going amazing. We were really chill with each other. She's an amazing person. And yeah, so we decided to go long distance once I moved to the state. And for the first few weeks, things went pretty well. I think me and her had quite different expectations. One, from the relationship, and two, how a long distance relationship would actually function for us. Because this is pretty much the first relationship I've ever had. I was still like I was still learning the ropes of how to be in a romantic relationship with a person, and that coupled with the fact that we're shifting from a physical relationship to a long distance relationship just was kind of jarring because right in the middle of learning how to be a boyfriend, circumstances completely shifted. And she's had a relationship before, and she learned a lot from those relationships. So we both had kind of different ideas about how things were gonna stand. Like, we had different ideas about how this was gonna go, and that basically just led to fights and disagreements all the time, and things ended kind of bitterly. We tried to stay in touch, but there was real life stuff that kept coming up. There was again different expectations for the friendship too. And it was really heartbreaking and really messy. And since I moved here last year, I've made a couple of amazing friends. Probably the best friends I'll ever make. These are the type of people you want to be with for life. And they've been extremely supportive throughout all this, which is in a way I'm glad because I don't I don't want to go through stuff like this alone. But also it makes me feel like you shouldn't really rely too much on what your friends are telling you because I mean yes, obviously they care for you, but they're always gonna say things biased towards your perspective because they only know you and they don't know the other person. And because of that, so I just kind of felt weird talking to my friends about all this. And, it felt ingenuine. It felt like these guys telling me that I'm in the right, what I did wasn't wrong, when they don't even know what happened. They just know that I'm hurting and need to get through it. And I think a lot of the guilt from that relationship kind of bleeds into my day-to-day life now. It affects how I treat other people. It affects how I treat myself and how I perceive myself. Like, there are days where I feel proud of who I am for all the stuff I've gone through and still trying to, be a happy guy throughout all of it. But then also, it's like, I kind of just move from one place to another according to my convenience. Like, sometimes it feels like the actions I take are without any disregard, with disregard for other people. It's a little baby chicken. This is like the first time I'm playing in the new 26 point whatever snapshots, and it's really cool. But yeah, I have always tried to be a honest person. I've tried to be an honest person, a selfless person, someone who's always putting other people and the people I care about before myself. But I do things sometimes which are more for my convenience, even if they inconvenience others. And I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to get pity, like, oh, my life is so hard. I do my best for the people and I'm still suffering. No, it's really easy to think you're one person, think you're this sort of person, and then you just take a second to reflect on yourself. And it surprises you how different you are from who you actually think you are. And yeah, that's one of the things. Another thing is sorry, that was a long side, like a long detour from the main topic. Um, since I came here, since I shifted here, I've spent and dedicated a lot more of my time to my studies because uh, it's really hard to get into a good college here. Competitive, it's a really competitive thing. Hundreds of thousands of people apply to the same colleges and only a few hundred get in. So the past year, that's essentially what I've been doing. I made more friends, so I go out, like leave the house now, and also I've tried to maintain better relations with my mom and my dad since they're not on the best of terms. But they're also getting acquainted with each other more and more every day, especially now that my dad's also in the same city. But in doing so, in some of the not boons, but in some of the, I guess, opportunities and advantages gotten from getting a life, like I've gotten better marks, I've gotten more confident in myself, I've gotten better at socializing with people, but it's kind of come at the expense of giving up the things I care about. Prior to this, like friend group I have, like before I made these friends who I'm talking about right now, I made a group of friends in lockdown who are also some of my closest friends, some of the people who I would die for. And I just, my commitments in my physical in person life are pulling me away from the kind of online persona I had and my online environment. And I think the worst part about it is that it's not just like, it's not, it's only me who's going through this kind of like disconnect with the friend group because other people, they've been moving forward with their life too. People, they're applying to colleges, they're getting into colleges, doing all these crazy things. One of them's developing a game. And despite all that, they're making time for the friend group and they're constantly showing up, sometimes for hours on end, way more than they need to. And it just causes a lot of doubt in my brain. Like, am I neglecting my friendship with these people? Or like, by doing all this work, or am I even doing work? Am I doing work that's justifying me not interacting as much with these people? Like, am I both not talking to the people I care about and not doing any productive work? So it's just the worst of both worlds. And sometimes it does feel like that. Sometimes it just feels like I'm not doing anything and I'm making excuses for avoiding both real work and, talking to people, talking to my friends. And it's just so weird. I don't want this is scary. Let's put it right. Please don't shoot me. Oh my god. Oh my god, you missed all your shots. You're such a child. Go. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called you a child. Alright. But yeah, it's like these guys, they've grown closer and closer with each other. They like get together in VC for at least 2 to 3 hours every day without fail. And I've gone from being one of the core members of the group to somewhat in the outside circle. Like, I'm still in the core group, like quote unquote, but there's so many jokes and so many references and so many things that I'm not in the loop on because I wasn't there to witness them. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to choose between the life I have now and the life I'm missing out on because they both have their pros and cons. They both have amazing upsides and terrible downsides. And it's easier, the worst part is that it's easier to forget about the online life because the real life is something that's actively like taxing me, that's actively demanding my attention. But in the like buzz, I guess, of dealing with all this stuff with school and friends and parents, it's really easy to just miss all the stuff that's happening in the friend group. Like today, we had this little competition type of thing where one of our friends who's a music producer asked all of us to just try and make music for the first time, kind of like Ludwig's beat off. And it was really fun. I had a lot of fun. It was the first time I was hanging out with them in a long time. Like probably the first time in weeks I've dedicatedly hung out with these people, and it was amazing. I laughed my ass off. I was in tears, and it's that's really the reason I I'm recording this video in the first place. I think I'm just not willing to accept the reality of the situation, which is that I can't have both the things I want without putting in the effort that both the things demand. Like, I can't focus on my online life and focus on the real life to just naturally go along. It can't be vice versa, where I focus on my real life and just the online life conveniently plays out exactly how I want it to. I think that's all I have to say. I need to start playing this game more carefully. Speaking of which, it reminded me another thing I was thinking about is I am a reckless and a rash person who keeps jumping into things without thinking about their consequences, thinking about how it's going to affect me. And then I jump into the thing, like I jump into the thing without putting any thought into it, just kind of rod all the shit out of it. And it usually ends badly more often than not. I hurt myself or I hurt someone around me or I kind of damage my opportunities in the future because of that rash thinking. And instead of taking it constructively and trying to improve it, I just sit and I cry about it. And I don't really do anything to kind of rectify my mistake or recover from the situation. While in my head, I think I'm a person who can, come back from a bad situation and won't take punches without getting back up. But I take these like moments of introspection and I realize that I'm frankly kind of a bitch. And I think I don't want to call it imposter syndrome. It's a big and serious word, but like it is that because I've kind of over the years deluded myself into thinking I'm this person who I'm not, who I'm not actually. Like I don't have the behavior, mannerisms, maturity of a person like this, of a person who would face life head on and not let it take me down with it. But I don't know, in a way, this channel's also a way for me to avoid taking action about things and turning my life around. And again, just another way for me to cry about how unfortunate my life is. My very blessed life with friends who love me and care about me and people who I get to spend time with. There's a few other things, a bit more personal, family matters and whatnot that maybe I'll get into some other day, but I think that's pretty much everything I had on my mind. It's just been weird lately, the past few weeks, but weather's been rainy and gloomy. I've kind of been isolating myself more from people, and it's really negative spiral. It's not something anyone should really be doing. So if some reason anyone's made it this far, if they're still watching, you need to just get up, get up off your ass and turn your life around yourself. No one's gonna come and do it for me. No one's gonna come and do it for you. You can pray and bitch and moan and whine to your friends and your family as much as you want. And they'll support you to some extent, but it's just a short term gratification from the problem at hand. You're not solving anything, you're delaying the inevitable unless you face it head on. There's a school of belief in subject of psychology called humanistic psychology, which essentially believes humans would confront the problems that cause them anxiety and stress head on rather than trying to avoid it or repress it. And it's a really positive outlook on human behavior. It's like it believes in the human spirit, the indomitable human spirit. Wholeheartedly believes that we can overcome anything if we put a mind to it. And I think that's something more of us should be doing. We should just, it's way easier said than done, but you start doing it, you start seeing the benefits from it, and it just clicks to you like, why have I not been doing this my whole life? It's just, it's incredibly hard to get into. It's incredibly easy to fall out of. Like, oh, I got a blue achievement. Sorry. It's an incredibly hard thing to get into the groove of, and it's really easy to fall out of that groove. But if you're facing problems like me, it's genuinely the only way to deal with it. Um, and if things start to feel like they're too much for you, too much to deal with all at once. Just take a break. Just get out, exit the situation for a bit. Take some time for yourself, you know. Go to your local coffee shop, have a nice cup of coffee, collect your thoughts because no one's asking you to deal with everything right now. I'm not telling you to deal with everything right now. I'm just saying there will be a time and a day where you're gonna have to deal with stuff. And it's probably for your well being that the time comes sooner rather than later.